This is our pilot episode of Girls on Girls.
Which is also the pilot episode of the very first Murder, She Wrote.
It is.
Can I talk about what a bold move it is to make your pilot episode a two-parter?
You have not even created an audience yet, and already.
Yeah.
So today, we are reviewing episode 1, part 1 of Murder, She Wrote.
Mm-hmm.
What is the title?
The Murder of Sherlock Holmes.
Yes!
Yeah, part 1.
I would say that this episode has so many layers, and perhaps the layers don't exactly go together.
I hadn't thought of it that way, but I think that's a very, very fair assessment.
Okay.
While we're talking about older series,
Yes.
when I was a kid and Murder, She Wrote was on, I thought that Angela Lansbury and Agatha Christie were the same person.
Okay, I could totally see that. How about Danielle Steele?
I don't know anything about Danielle Steele. I've never read
What?
any Danielle Steele books.
Okay.
Is she like the Nicholas
Cut
Sparks
this out.
of ladies?
When you're editing, please cut this out.
No, it's okay.
I think if you read the first 14 pages of one Danielle Steele book, you know not only that story, but all the other stories.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like I could have that kind of writing career.
Well, I'll show you a bestseller, Amy.
We're going to cover Stephanie Meyer in Girls on Girls,
I feel like Stephanie Meyer is not a woman who is out to empower other women.
I could not agree with you more.
How about Bridget Christie?
I don't know Bridget Christie.
She's a British feminist.
Okay, I'm in.
She says something along the lines of like, I will not stop fighting for feminism until I have the confidence of a short, fat, sweaty white man. We're getting way off track, Murder, She Wrote, but when we discussed Twilight, I got the feeling that you did not read all the books because, like me, you were so put off by the abusive use of the word incredulous. So I thought you stopped.
I mean, I probably should have.
So we have episode 1, season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen to see the date of when this show aired?
It is September 30th, 1984, correct?
Yes, excellent. Okay, how does it start?
It's a dark and stormy night, which is one of my favorite ways to start anything. It's classic, right?
Yes.
It doesn't get old.
How is it stopping recording us?
What?
It just
Oh my
turned off.
God. There's clearly some killer who shows up, and wait.
What?
First of all, there are French doors that keep blowing open, and why are your doors not locked?
All of the doors and windows are wide open. And
Listen.
the wind is billowing her ghostly nightie. And her hair, puppy dog hair, huge bangs. Can we even call it bangs if it is the whole top hemisphere of the head?
No, this is a permed mullet.
Well, I also wondered, like, seriously, what year is this taking place? Because, like you said, she has this candle. Why is she walking around with a candle?
Well, I think maybe the power's out from this storm.
Oh, okay. That's an excellent point that I didn't even consider.
I think that's got to be it. So she turns around, there's a killer in the house.
You're calling him a killer.
Well, here's why I think he's a killer. I'll tell you right now. As soon as I saw him, I thought this guy is one of the singing executioners from the Renaissance Festival. I don't know.
I thought he looked like he was from 50 Shades of Grey or the video game Castlevania.
Okay.
He does not move. He doesn't move. And yet, she is scared to death. She's looking
did
for
you see the
Roger.
hood?
Yeah, I saw the whole 9.
Okay, 9 you say. She is looking for Roger. She is. I don't think that's Roger. I could be wrong.
No,
we never find out enough about this.
I think that he killed Roger. Well, I don't know. We only saw barely the first act of a play that is never going to come up again in this episode or the second part of this episode 1 of Murder, She Wrote. Okay, the lights come up with the singing executioner. Mm-hmm. He says, "Cut!" And then the lights go up, And then Angela and her 2 senior citizen friends, who are supposedly on the PTA,
Right.
excuse me,
I don't think so.
are the refreshments committee. And this is Miss Huey, she's on Punch. And this is Miss Thompson, she's on Brownies and Macaroons. And Jessica is, I don't know what she's bringing. But she does tell that man that she already solved his play.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the whole reason that we have this scene, right?
Okay.
Is to establish.
Now, as we're talking it out, I say, okay, good point, Aymee. Good point. I feel like they are introducing this play.
Mm-hmm.
They capture my interest. What's happened to Roger? Who's that guy in the hood?
Mm-hmm.
And we never go back. I feel like that is a huge failure.
I completely agree.
But that's only one of many failures. if my notes are true to life.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the theme of my note taking here is I have questions. I have questions.
I have questions.
Okay.
This. What the fuck? Okay, so part of Jessica's character sketch is she has no boundaries and she blabs.
Yeah.
And she comes out of the play. She just saw the first act, and she says, "I'm sure." She says this to the director. "I'm sure no one will ever guess that the uncle is the killer." Her 2 dumb friends are like, "What?"
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Oh, it's just on the macaroons. My shirt's. I spilled on my shirt now.
Oh,
it's
God.
okay.
Well, you know what we could use? Jessica's got a spot remover recipe that I can't wait to discuss.
It's a cake recipe. Okay, we need to rein it in. What I noted about the play after Angela blabs is that there's a sign in the background and it says it's a pre-Broadway premiere, and the title of this thing is called Something Terrible.
I have tickets to a show.
Yeah?
Do you want to go with me?
I don't know. What's it called?
Something terrible?
No, I'm not interested.
Weird, because I was sold.
It's the most vague title ever. Is this about a girl's first period? Or is it about a DUI car accident that kills an infant? Both terrible.
Equally.
Howard the Duck.
I love that movie. I
When
can't
she
wait
finds
to
that little condom in his wallet.
It's my favorite thing.
I didn't know what condoms were.
Well, it's not that. I don't know how many people were saved by from pregnancy by the cheesecloth condom. But that thing, do you remember it was
I
like
do
this
remember.
weird, like,
It was
little
mesh.
situation?
Okay, so this is where we really get like the opening of Murder, She Wrote.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this is an opening that will be repeated throughout for other episodes, but we don't know for sure because we're probably not going to do any more episodes. Maybe a Christmas special. She does a lot of activities in her opening. I just noticed that she runs, she rides her bike, she knows a lot of people in her town, which has a population of 3,560, I think. She cruises up her stairs 2 at a time. She fishes.
Yeah.
She also rides her bike to the school where she's a substitute, and she shows up looking like a hitchhiker. She's wearing a black beanie type hat, a flannel shirt, and dungarees, jeans, but I believe that they'll call them dungarees in her age group.
I believe so. I believe so. Plus, I mean, where does she live?
What do you mean? She lives on Cabot Cove.
But what state is that?
I think it's Maine.
That's what, yeah, it seemed like New England situation to me.
It's definitely New England. She does dress like a fisherman. She also owns some glasses like Sally Jesse Raphael.
Okay, bring us in.
Okay, so this episode starts out where Jessica's running and she hears her old-fashioned phone from very far outside her house. And she goes running in 2 steps at a time to answer the phone, and this time she's dressed like Rocky Balboa. And you know what else that I just thought? She wears a lot of unisex clothes. And I'm excited about that for the time period.
Yeah, you're right. I like that too.
She is really a feminist.
I love that too. Well, we can talk about the feminist thrust in just a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I think
You
that's
caught me off guard.
foreshadowing.
I felt my throat just tighten up. Okay, you take it away. She gets called into her house. What happens?
She answers the phone.
Yes.
And it's
a big phone.
It is a big phone. This is why she works out so much, by the way. She's got to be able to lift up that goddamn receiver. Do you know what kind of work goes into dialing that beast? It's a lot.
It's 3 minutes to get the cops over. And there's no caller ID.
No
so
caller
she
ID.
answers the phone. She has no idea who it is. Kids, this is what it's like in the 80s. You're like, who could it be? I have no idea.
Could be.
Hello?
This is someone terrible.
Is this someone terrible? No, it's your nephew Grady.
Okay, right. This leads her to the question where she asks him if he got fired. Are you still working for that fish man?
Yes.
She says. Does she mean half man, half fish? I have questions.
I thought she said fish person.
Yeah, you're right.
And I had the vision of her in my mind wearing the flannel and the beanie, and I thought, oh, he's a fisherman. And then when Grady revealed that he's actually not the chef, he's an accountant, I thought, why do fishermen have accountants? I have questions. Look at your face. You thought he was a man-fish, a merman.
Well, I wanted clarification, but at this point, I'm already just looking for things to pick on about this show.
I have a big one.
Okay.
She asked about, do you work for the fish person? All right. He is eating Raisin Bran. Yes? Do you remember?
Yeah, and I love this little package.
He's got an old-fashioned Raisin Bran.
Yep.
He has whole milk.
Yeah.
But the side of the milk says vitamin D milk. The spout says 100% pure apple juice.
I have questions.
I have questions. That was like my biggest find in this episode, and it just made me feel like a treasure hunter. Okay, so Grady, why is he calling at 6:30 a.m. while putting apple juice on his Raisin Bran?
She's gonna go on a tell me when I'm wrong.
No,
Already.
I want you to keep going.
Okay.
Because this leads right into I've got questions.
Okay, wonderful. So she's gonna go on basically a book tour. She's gonna give interviews. It's gonna be great.
Okay. Grady says, Jessica, Aunt Jess, remember last time I was there? Hey, I found a copy of your book and I read it. You did? Oh, I just wrote that for myself. Well, I showed it to my friend and she showed it to someone and they want to publish it. All right, pause. I've got questions. Aymee,
Yes.
it is 1984.
Yep.
She is writing this on a typewriter. Has she made copies so that he could take a copy of the entire manuscript and give it to his friend and she wouldn't even notice?
How much time elapses?
I believe that there is a huge time lapse between this phone call and the very next scene.
There must be. There must be. I think they call that a
Maybe a
blackout.
year.
That's
Maybe
it.
a year.
It's a big blackout.
This is the 80s. Do they have multiple copies? Printers? I don't believe she has multiple copies.
No.
Sarah Lynch, like my Instagram.
All right.
Okay. And of course, she has to make a self-deprecating comment. Just because they want to publish it doesn't mean anyone will read it. If someone's going to publish it, I think they have a pretty good idea that it's going to get read and
Somebody's
sold.
going to read it.
Okay. Next scene after phone with Grady. She is cruising on her bike.
Okay.
25 miles per hour, no helmet, trench coat. She goes by the bookstore.
It's going to save her if she crashes.
She's
She's slow down and she loses control due to speed. She's got the trench coat to slow
He
her down.
stops right in front of the Cabot Cove bookstore. And the guy in the window, he has a stack of her books. Do you remember what the book's called?
I have it written down. Please hold.
No problem.
The corpse danced to midnight.
At this point of the show, I'm thinking, aha, is this reference to the play we were introduced to?
It's not.
It's not.
Nothing else ever will be.
The word incredulous. So first she goes to the window, and I really need I want to do this close up to the camera. Okay, and she's looking in the window, and the man, there's a sign that says, number 8 bestseller. And then he takes it away, and she's like, typical, my book sucks now.
Yeah.
And then he puts another sign, and it says, this week, number 2 bestseller. And Jessica does this.
She does.
There's no color. All you see is her yellow red eyes and her yellow gappy teeth.
Well, they didn't have Visine in the 80s.
And they also didn't have lip liner.
No, they did not.
She just put the lipstick all around.
Right, yeah. Right up in
And she put on her...
Is it on her nose also? Who cares?
She put on her mauve lipstick. She got on her bike and she started cruising.
She did.
Now she's in the kitchen with her buds, Miss Thompson and Miss Huey.
Yep.
That is her name, Miss Huey.
Miss Huey.
And that's when she gets the call from Grady. Now this time he's calling from Captain Caleb's, and now we get the full understanding that Captain Caleb's is actually a huge corporate production.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like he's working in McDonald's corporate office or Long John Silver's. And Brady's calling to say that she's going to come and do her tour and come to New York City.
Okay, all right. So I had those. I was getting ahead of myself.
And he says, okay, so the girls are in the background. And he says, you're going to be on the Today Show, Letterman, and Donahue.
Oh my God. Who doesn't want to go on the Phil Donahue show?
The girls,
This is
the
good
girls
looking.
are,
Right.
they're coming out of their skin.
Is this the Beatles on Ed Sullivan? It's basically the same thing.
Who's the guy we work with? And he has those glasses that kind of look like they're prison issued. That's what kind of glasses Phil Donahue used to wear.
Yeah.
He looked like Andy Warhol. Donahue. So now we know what the girls' sexual appetites are all about.
Yeah. Phil Donahue.
Take it away.
This is when the ladies tell Jessica that she has to have a makeover because she cannot go on these shows wearing all these tweeds.
Not looking like that, girl.
To this I say, fuck you. I am a substitute English teacher. I write magnificent literature about corpses
One book.
dance at midnight.
One book.
Can we talk about when she's at the salon and she's under the hairdryer
Yes.
and the delivery guy comes in?
Yes.
What's this goddamn look that he gives her?
Okay. She's still in rollers. She has a mask on her face. You don't know what she's going to look like.
Like, this asshole's never been to a beauty salon.
Don't you come in this salon full of women and think that you're going to start talking trash? He had one part. He didn't even have a line. And he played it all wrong. He should have played it like this. Oh.
Yeah.
He not only insulted her, he also insulted the beautician.
Yeah. She's just doing her job. What's this guy doing? Why don't you just do your job? If you don't have any nice looks to give, then don't give any looks at all.
Give me the mail. Get out of here. Oh my God. There's 3 people we need to talk about.
Okay.
Jessica gets off the train, and then we meet Daniel. Do you remember Daniel?
Is Daniel the train guy?
Yes.
He's so nice.
I don't know what his job is.
I think that he's specifically there to dote on Jessica Fletcher.
Listen, he works on the train. We're not sure of his job, but he carries Jessica's bags, and she tries to tip him, but she says it's not his job to carry the bags, and he also doesn't want her tip.
Maybe he's not even employed. He just wears the suit.
He's wearing it.
He's customer relations.
He just making sure she gets into the city. He's like, she's an old lady. She's coming from Cabot Cove.
He's a Walmart greeter of the train.
So first there's Daniel, and then Grady and Kit Donovan.
Yeah.
come to meet her at the train station, and then they rush her to Coventry, which is the publishing company.
Right.
And then,
like, we're sitting in this. Look, I made haste to get here. I've been to the beauty salon. I tossed out my tweeds, okay?
but not the trench. I'm wearing the trench.
100%. You gotta know where to draw the line. You gotta know where to draw the line. The thing's gonna save her one day in a fall.
Oh, for sure. When she's selling watches.
The books aren't selling, but the watches are.
I say they take her to meet Mr. Giles, who's frantic in a hurry.
But he is very dismissive of the fact that he's kept her waiting for, like, an hour.
It's almost as if he doesn't know that they were supposed to meet.
Maybe.
And I just want to kiss a man so bad. Are you scared?
I'm allergic.
You are?
Yeah.
So am I. But not
I'm
bad.
fine. I'm just afraid of the touching.
I love you.
All right.
Yes, you're my best friend. You're my only family.
It's supposed to build a fort.
Okay, Marty.
Okay.
Keep going.
Hi, Marty.
Give you a little pop.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Pop in the butt. I said Jessica goes to a bunch of interviews and says many offensive things.
I feel like people were shitty to her. He says something to her about the beatification of the trivial and the canonization of the mundane.
The mundane.
Yes.
Yes. The canonization of the mundane.
Yeah.
The word incredulous. I need to do a Google search on 2 of these 4 words. We have one more interviewer.
We do. This is a gal.
She's a gal.
This is a gal. The thrust of feminism? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, she does love that she's weaved a feminist thrust into the story, but she also gives away that the killer is a pregnant ballerina. Ballerinas do not have enough body fat to support a pregnancy.
Could one say that if a ballerina were thin enough, a dancer,
Yes.
maybe they would look corpse-like?
Perhaps.
Maybe
Wait a
this is the corpse that dances at midnight.
I totally did not put together the corpses dancing and it's a ballerina.
I think we just solved that mystery together.
Okay, we know that the killer is a pregnant ballerina, but who is the murderee? Who was murdered?
You're gonna have to read the book to
You're
find
gonna
out.
have to read it. It's called The Corpse Dances at Midnight. It was published in 1984. J.B. Fletcher.
J.B. Fletcher.
Okay, so I think that was the last interview that we saw. Now something happened. She's in the hotel room with her feet in a Tupperware full of hot water. She's wearing a bathrobe.
Her dogs are barking.
She's sneezing. And Kit Donovan is there helping her. And that is when Jessica is like, I am # over it. I'm going back to Cabot Cove and no one can stop me.
She's ready to beat feet. And
Book life is too much.
it's overwhelming. This isn't what she signed up for.
Isn't it enough that I wrote this book? And now you want me to go all over the place and act like a celeb?
It's gonna sell or it's not. Am I right?
You're right. You're
She's already
absolutely right.
the #2 bestseller. She doesn't have to peddle her wares anymore. She's on Donahue, for Christ's sake.
I wish we would have seen her on
I
Donahue.
do too.
Oh, praise God, I would have loved to have seen a cameo by Philip Donahue. What happens next?
We're going to the train station.
That's right.
We're getting ready to get on the train,
Yes.
but we're stopped.
By who?
We're stopped by Kit.
Yes.
And can we discuss?
But there's also Grady and Mr. Giles.
And Mr. Giles has a dozen roses, an apology.
Yes.
They've had the one interaction. She was like, bitch, you need to eat some apples. He was like, this is the lady I need to go after. I can't believe I was late. I want to take this broad to the country.
I didn't know it was romantic until the end of episode 2.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
So Danny has
Danny.
right. He's
Daniel.
He's the greeter
At the Amtrak.
right.
Yes.
He's already got her suitcase.
Yes. That's when she says it's not your job.
Okay, but she just takes off and he's still got her suitcase.
Logic flaw.
This is when Giles invites her to go to the country for a nice quiet weekend.
Quiet weekend.
I don't know why she says yes.
My book publisher says, I'd love you to come to my country house
Okay.
for a quiet weekend.
I guess that I don't like Giles from the get-go, and I'm not happy that she's going to go to the country with him. But as Jessica and Giles are driving to said country home, he does mention that the nephew and his girlfriend, Grady and Kit, drove separately.
And he's glad.
He's glad.
Because they had some time to really connect.
And she could be someone who really causes a disruption in his life.
Okay, Amy, I said to myself, this is the earliest usage of the word disruption. And it means nothing like what it does at our job, where they're always trying to disrupt the marketplace. I love that he says that.
It's something that made its way to the comment section of my report cards a lot.
Disruption.
Do you think if, say, you and I were driving to the country together and I had just invited you, that we would have any occasion to say to each other, I wonder what the dress code's going to be like? And what are people going to be wearing?
A quiet weekend doesn't say to me, what do I need to pack?
Okay.
No expectations. I feel like the expectations of that invite are like, just come as you are.
Okay, but now I'm Giles in this situation.
Okay.
You're in the passenger seat. You're Jessica.
Okay.
I'm driving.
Oh, God.
I have
I
a
wonder if he
feeling
likes
there's going to be
me.
an event that's taking place. I'll just let her know when we get there. It's fine. I've already got her here trapped in the car. This is my payback for her introduction sentence to me being that I'm gray and I need to eat apples.
This bitch is gonna pay
You're going down.
mightily.
That's correct.
Okay, so when we get to the house, then what happens? Because now I have a real I was confused for 2 viewings. I have questions, but go ahead.
Okay. We've got, a sprawling estate.
Huge.
There are a lot of folks.
Yep.
We've got some skeet shooting. Clay pigeons.
Pull!
So, at the same time, there's this other very loud sound that we hear. It's a sonic boom.
Yes! Sonic booms. There's an airfield.
It is an airfield.
Okay, nearby.
Nearby.
So they tell us right away, listen, you're going to hear some booms.
The Concorde flies in and out of here all the time.
Quiet weekend in the country.
Right, sonic booms and skeet shooting, you guys.
Jessica, Giles, maybe Grady and Kit. I keep thinking his name's Brady. They're just entering the premises.
Yep.
Here comes this woman. Hello! Do you remember? Louise. I thought it was Giles' wife. I still didn't know that there was a romantic interest.
Oh.
I thought, here's
Even
Giles'
after the
wife.
dozen red roses?
It didn't even, not even on my radar.
All right. Okay.
So that lady comes out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
She is the one who says, what are you wearing tonight?
Right.
To which Jessica replies, something
Prada.
along the lines of, whatever do you mean? And then Giles jumps in and says something, I don't know what he says, but he's like, don't worry about her.
Yeah. Again, with being dismissive.
Dismissive. Uh-huh.
And at this point, she discovers that it's going to be a costume party where people are coming dressed as their favorite fictional character.
Exactly.
And here's where I have a question.
Okay.
Nikki. Who would you dress as?
I feel like one of my favorite fictional characters is Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye.
I like that.
I don't know how he dresses. Like a scruff? Like a schoolboy? Like a prep school?
I like that. Well,
Who would you be?
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was that I would like to be Steve Buscemi from Fargo after he gets shot in the jaw.
No!
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
That would be really quite fitting for the episode.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, we also see that guess who else is there? Captain Caleb
He is
of the Fishman.
the fish person, yeah.
And he's wearing a captain's hat,
He sure is.
and they continue to call him the captain.
They do. They really do.
I think we skip to that night at the party.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do find out that Jessica says that maybe she'll just show up as Lady Godiva.
Okay, question, and this isn't a logic flaw or anything, just my question to you.
Okay.
Who is Lady Godiva?
All I know is that she rode a horse naked down the street, but her hair was so long that it covered her boobs.
This changes everything.
I don't know anything else about it. Yeah, Jessica's hair's not that long. I don't know if she's going to get a wig, but...
I was
Or a
thinking of
horse.
Godiva chocolates.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jessica makes that statement, so now we know she's sassy, and I didn't know until you just told me right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a sassy broad.
Okay.
Or a saucy broad, I don't know.
Both.
Live your life, Jessica.
Oh my god.
So, the next scene, right, is coming into the costume ball.
Yes. And first we see that little woman that's Peter Pan, and she makes the butler joke.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? Red Butler.
Her face is just front and center in that camera. Well, has Jessica already come down the stairs?
Tell us about Jessica's
Oh.
grand entrance.
She is the fairy godmother.
Cinderella's fairy godmother.
Yeah, it's great.
She just pieced it together.
She did.
It's perfect.
She got it from Louise or somebody, Mrs. McCollum.
And she has a perfectly form-fitting corset ballroom gown,
That's right.
complete with crown and the star magic wand.
Which is going to come in very handy later.
Yeah. Yeah. But we see Captain Caleb dressed as Sherlock Holmes. And he enters the scene and he immediately puts his hand up Little Red Riding Hood's dress. And her dress, if this is her dress, it's like this. I mean, he's not even hiding it.
I watched this 12 times. How did I miss it?
I don't know. This is why you don't know that he's not having an affair with Ashley anymore.
Well, who's to say he can't be banging half the planet? I mean,
Because she tells us. There's a part where the piano player, he's at the bar, and he's had a few drinks, and Ashley has her back to him, and he starts singing about how she had the keys to the king's castle, and then he cut her off, and then she turns around, and the piano player says, "Oh, don't take it personally, Ashley." And then she says, "My relationship with the captain for the past 7 months has been strictly business."
Okay.
I had to rewatch it several times with the captions to get what I just told you.
Okay. All right.
So had I been a viewer in 1984, I wouldn't have all this intel.
Okay, so she gets the champagne on her dress at the time of the this
Little squabble at the
exchange,
bar.
yeah, with Tony Bennett and Tom Jones's son, the piano player.
My two dads.
Yes, 100%. And so Jessica whisks her off to clean this off of her dress.
Yes.
And Ashley goes upstairs, right, to take off the dress.
Wait, they have to go in the kitchen and mix it up.
But Ashley's not in the kitchen with her. Jessica walks into the kitchen, and Giles is on a phone call in the kitchen, and he hangs up, and Jessica wants to know who it was. And he says that it was, hold on, this was
Aymee?
a reporter that was calling to talk to Jessica. And he said that she was in Pago Pago. And I think to myself, it's 1984. There's no internet. Where did this reporter get the phone number of where J.B. Fletcher was going to be? And Giles happens to answer the phone and say she's in Pago Pago.
The word incredulous. Grady and Kit are outside and he wants to leave. He's like, I don't want to be at this party. I just want to spend time with you. And then they're outside and Grady says, am I nuts or is that my room? He looks up and sees someone in his room. Then he runs up and attacks this man.
Grady just walks in and slugs this dude in the face. And listen, I know he's been rummaging around his room with a flashlight. I'm not saying that's appropriate behavior by any stretch.
He wasn't invited.
But this guy, he didn't look like a real big threat.
No.
I'm not positive that physical violence was the answer.
He's wearing a tuxedo. He's wearing a suit.
He's wearing a suit. He doesn't look menacing or
No.
anything. This
He's
isn't
also
the
older.
singing executioner.
No.
So they have kind of a tumble. There's some broken furniture.
That's right.
Grady doesn't manage to take down this guy, but I'll tell you what does happen.
What?
You tell me what happens. He runs out. He says, that's enough.
Yes.
And as he's trying to make his getaway, the guy with the flashlight who's been pummeled by
Yes.
Grady, Jessica's standing there in the hallway.
Yeah, she is.
She manages to trip him. With what, Nikki? How does she pull off this amazing feat?
The camera shows us a clip of the magic wand going down towards his foot, and then it shows him just tripping with little to no intervention from the magic wand. But we are led to believe that she did indeed trip him with the magic wand.
That is absolutely what it seems like to me.
Okay.
The fisticuffs didn't do it, but the
No.
cardboard magic wand did.
Cardboard. The word incredulous. This guy is named Dexter Baxendale. And according to him, with Dexter Baxendale, who is a private investigator, discretion is a way of life.
Nothing to me says discretion like shining my flashlight around a bedroom window at a packed party.
And then, not only that, he gives his business card to the people's house he's rummaging around in.
He can't tell you what he's here for.
Nope, can't tell you what I'm here for, but I am in your house. This is a definition B&E, breaking and entering. As he's leaving this room because what's his face Giles says, I think you should leave. I've got your card. I'll call you if I need to.
I know where to find you now.
But then as he's leaving the room, he sees a statue that's like the justice scales.
Yeah.
And they're like this.
Yeah.
And he says, I know who you are now. To
and
Giles.
Trying to figure it out all night.
All
How
night.
much time was he spending in the party?
He
We didn't
wasn't
see
there.
this private dick at the party. Okay, all right. But here we are.
He says, you are Edmondante, the Count of Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm.
A sandwich served on French toast, served with jam. What? Like this episode, it's many layers that don't necessarily go together.
Right. But delightful nonetheless.
Yeah. So now we go back to the party. First, Louise McCallum is hammered. Grady goes to drive her home. She fights him off and drives away completely shit-faced.
Yeah, she's not having it.
She is drunk.
She's taken off.
She is like way past the legal limit to be driving.
Completely.
Then they also notice that the captain is gone. And Ashley says, maybe you should look for Little Red Riding Hood and you'll find him. She's a little bitter. That's when she spills her drink and take it away.
So the phone call that we talked about.
Yes!
She's going upstairs to get changed. Jessica's going to make this homemade concoction that's going to take this champagne stain out of this dress.
I gotta ask you,
Yeah.
does champagne stain?
No, the champagne is just a clearish, almost clear liquid, right?
It's like a ginger ale, I think.
Amber color to it.
But she's wearing a magenta dress.
I don't think it's going to be a big deal, to be honest with you.
I thought it was gonna. Okay, but anyway, Jessica's got a Fletcher family recipe.
She sure does. It involves soda. Okay, you're thinking maybe this is like club soda, right?
Yes.
Great. And milk and eggs.
I don't think anything should be cleaned with something that has eggs as an ingredient.
I've never been in a situation where I thought, you know what's going to take this stain right out? Milk and eggs.
Now, this is important because when Jessica whisks her off with this concoction, this is going to become Ashley's alibi for later in the show.
It sure is. It's about 11:15 right now.
11:15 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
And the guy is at the piano. He's taking requests.
Mm-hmm.
So put a pin in that. All right, now we're going to flash forward to the next morning.
Okay.
What, do you remember what the first thing is we see? We talked about it earlier.
Yeah.
It looks like this.
Jessica's up on her jog.
She's out jogging. It's about 6 a.m.
Yep. She's wearing a blue velour tracksuit.
I think my dad had the same one.
It's a fucking gym, and I would wear it if I had it right now.
I wish I would have bought more velour tracksuits when they were financially friendly.
Mm-hmm.
She's out running. Louise pulls up. Kit is screaming at the pool.
Screams at the pool and yells for Jessica. Do you think
Does
that's
she?
because she's the oldest person in the situation, and so she's the best equipped to handle what we're about to learn?
She's sort of a mother figure.
I'd like to take a moment to
Please.
address
Please.
the fact that Louise, when she pulls up, says that her husband never came home last night.
Who does she talk to? She tells...
Jessica, right?
Was it Jessica?
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
think so.
Okay. And she's wearing the same outfit. And her makeup is perfect.
Okay.
Even though she was totally hammered.
Completely hammered. Went home.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. But how does she know her husband didn't come home?
Yeah!
Because she passed out in her car by the lake. That's where she woke up. She's still in the same clothes, but she knows he didn't come home last night. Don't lie to me, woman.
So many questions.
So many questions. I have questions.
Ugh.
Okay, so we're back to the scream, and there is by the pool blood, a rifle.
There's blood?
Yeah, on the pool deck.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, yeah. Jessica tries not to step in it.
Oh, shite.
Yeah,
I
don't
missed
push
that.
your foot in it.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
there's the body floating in the pool,
Face down.
face down. Yep, that's important.
And
Is there blood in the pool, Nikki?
no, there's not.
Does it look like a nice, clear, like if you would just float that body on over to the side, just swoop it over, then you could,
I'm going to tell you
Hop right
something
in.
else, spoiler.
okay.
This guy was shot. He blew off his head with a 12-gauge shotgun. His head is fully intact in the pool.
I know that that half of his face is missing because the police officer later, the chief, He says, folks don't go around getting half their heads blown off for no reason.
That's right.
And this is when I had
I
to
see
look.
you dated it, 9/30/84.
I had to find out. Don't tell me that there weren't serial killers actively when this was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
I mean, he just lied. He
Chief.
flat out lied.
You know what? He's pissed off because it's Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he doesn't want any trouble on a Sunday.
That's right.
There's an ordinance in this town, and no murders are to occur on Sundays.
So yes, there is a person in the pool face down and dressed like Sherlock Holmes.
Dun dun dun.
So we assume it's the captain.
The captain.
Now we're going to go in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Louise admits that she drove in a complete blackout and passed out and woke up by the lake in her car.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor, who was there last night, and he also spent the night, says that Kit is sleeping because he gave her a sedative. So I'm thinking, just because he's a doctor, is he traveling with all his narcotics?
Yeah. They're in his go bag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as all the people are talking in what appears to be the library, if this were a game of Clue, we see someone creeping around outside.
I do.
Who
I do.
is it?
That's going to be J.B. Fletcher conducting her own investigation. Because she's a better detective than the chief of police. Once this conversation is over,
Mm-hmm.
and the chief walks outside and he's trying to see, what is Jessica doing out here? Because she is climbing a trellis.
In her Puma Easy Riders.
Yes, 100%. The
Oh,
velour suit.
totally
The Puma
matches
Easy Riders.
matches her outfit perfectly. She has navy with like a cream and maroon stripe.
Yes.
Her Pumas are cream suede with navy accent. I'm gonna guess a size 8.5.
Probably so.
Okay.
That sounds about
She's
right
tall.
to me. She is.
Yeah.
And who were these broads back home that were taking her out for a makeover? I don't think
Miss
so.
Hooey and Miss Thompson?
Maybe they just wanted her to take the bath towel off she was wearing when she was running.
Okay.
She's deducing that the killer must, or the Dick, the private detective,
Okay.
must have climbed up that trellis to get into Grady's room, right?
Okay.
And he would have had to have been wearing soft-soled shoes.
Soft rubber sole shoes. She says something about the shoes that the guy in the pool is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was wearing like patent leather hard sole shoes. And gosh, I don't know.
Well, ultimately what we're establishing is that the shoes were swapped, right? The guy in the pool
Okay.
is wearing tennis shoes.
He is?
Yeah. But the captain wasn't last night when he was dressed as old Sherlock.
That's right.
My dear Watson.
And they didn't know that because
Half his face was blown off.
half his place was blown off.
That's right.
They didn't know who was in the pool.
Yeah.
But also, the chief tells Jessica, who he just met, has he read her book? We don't know. He probably has.
Oh, we know he read her book.
But he tells her Miss McCallum is the suspect.
The suspect. And we don't even know who the body is yet.
That's right.
He tells her that he read her book. And she says, oh, how nice.
Oh my
And
God.
he says, I said I read it. I didn't say that I liked it.
That's right. Because you're a lady writer.
Yeah. Can't fool me with your fucking initials.
But how did this episode end? Because this is part 1 of 2. And usually they would leave us at a real cliffhanger. I mean, in a traditional storytelling format, which I'm not sure that's what we're dealing with.
We're at the precinct for a little bit. There's some questioning going on.
Okay.
Grady is under suspicion.
Grady was a suspect. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Jessica gets very defensive. It's
Yes.
the most riled she gets. I like her little protective mama bear Aunt Jess situation.
I think she said something like she is not going to stop until Grady is not a suspect.
We're going across the street to have some pie and coffee. But this is when we find out that it was not a sonic boom that happened at 11:15. It was in fact a gunshot.
Yes.
But 11:15 is when Jessica was cleaning Louise's dress.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Ashley's dress.
Ashley's dress.
11:15. Ashley was with Jessica. The piano man was taking requests.
That's right.
And then the next is episode 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it for now. Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks for watching. Come again next week. This may or may not have been recorded.
In front of a live studio audience.